Hi guys, how you going? Campbell here from Autodidactic channel. Hope you're having an amazing day. And as always guys, autodidactic means to be self-educated. And in today's world, we need to be self-educated because they're just not telling us the truth about what's going on today and about what has gone on in the past. So today I wanted to take a look at Africa in the 1600s, and we'll have a look and we'll see if the story that we get, the narrative of the history of Africa, actually matches the pictures that we have. This is from a book from 1690s, and this is basically a town on a river in Africa, a villa on the river of Kwama in Africa. And that is quite clearly a castle. Okay, we've got 4 ramparts. That's a classic square castle with a big tower. And we just have buildings all up here. We have another tall tower here. This is a very large building and stuff out the back. And it looks like they've got, you know, quite adequate big boats. Building some boats down here on the shore. We're out rowing around, and here we have the Spanish are coming. So does that match, that picture, does that match what you were told was happening in Africa in the 1600s? Castles. Stay tuned and let's get into this, guys. Now you may remember this map. I've done a video on this. It's a map from 1400s, and this is Africa. And what it shows us in Africa is just castles everywhere, large towers, steeples, and they seem to all have a very connected canal system that just goes to all, you know, lots of the castles are in moats, other ones are, they just go out into big lakes. But as you can see, Africa just completely covered, completely built out with castles. They're everywhere. Egypt, we've got the pyramids here and castles. Now these may of course be the temples that we've still got there, and we know the size of those temples. So you can see in perspective, there's just, you know, this thing here would be huge. And look at the size of this. So castles everywhere. Look at this. Mauritiana. That's where we get the Moors from. And all the way down, just huge, huge, huge castles. So this is what we're told. This map is a picture of Africa from the 1400s, 1450s. So let's have a look at what the books say. Do they agree with this map, or do they agree with what we're told in our history books? So this is a book. So just open him up, and you can see this is, oh, thought this one had a date. I cannot, oh there, 1729 is a production date of this book. And it is basically, the title of the book is, The Pleasant Gallery of the World, where we see in a large number of very exact maps and beautiful soft sizes the main empires, republics, provinces, cities, towns and fortresses, islands, coasts. And obviously didn't get enough of that. English, battlements, Africa. There, so it is Africa. Just so you know. 3rd volume of Africa by Pieter Vander A, don't know. So we'll have a look at this book first. Okay, and to start off with, we get a picture of an African-looking gentleman, and he's got a crown on his head. He's obviously a king. He's got a scepter type thing, which looks very metal. There you go, got some ostriches and some other people, elephants, bit of wildlife. And this map, again, if we come in and have a look, it does have castles. Castles, castles, castles. Quite a bit. Not as much as we see in the map that was a few hundred years earlier, but still a lot. This is the inhabitants of the Congo. And you can see this, he's got some metallic things on him. So, not really the image that we're given of Africans these days, are we? He's, got a skirt type thing on, he's looking pretty good. But in the background, guys, here we go again. Big towers with steeples. Okay, big multi-story buildings. Domes. In the Congo. And this book, 1730, when it was released. So these would have been done early 1700s, these pictures. Again, here's another image, and just castles. Castles, castles, castles. This looks, I don't know, is that sort of flooded out? Is that, see, this looks like it's kind of in the hill a bit. Towers, big sort of buildings, just everything. And they're the natives, the native people of Africa. And here you can see in their boats, doing some fishing, down on the shore here, doing their laundry. So castles in Africa. And we saw this, a very similar thing in the Americas at the sort of same time frame. Here we go, this is the king, a king of some region. He's got some very cool shoes on. Look at these. Don't know what's going on there. Here we have his crown. I think this is a coronation, I'm pretty sure, yeah. Coronation of the King of Congo. And here he comes, everyone's celebrating. Here he is after his coronation. By the looks of it. But look at this candelabra. Looks like the Spanish have arrived. And so here we just have a few more pictures of the natives. When it adjusts, there we go. And as you can see, look at these guys. I mean, is this a mirror or something? I'm not sure. Look at the hats. We just look at the fashion, the garb they're wearing. Oh, that's very well made. It's almost what we would call, what we're told is sort of Persian, the Islamic kind of clothing. But that's also what is Moorish, what was called Moors, because these people didn't call themselves Moor, but they were called that because they were from places like Mauritania. As you can see, big feather headdresses. And across here, there's like this doorway, just seems to go into a cliff. I don't know. See that? We've got this doorway. Some kind of ceremony happening. And this guy too, very well dressed. He's got beads and stuff on. Got a sword. And this is not what we're told, is it, at all, of what was going on in Africa. Here again, this is the king. Look at this massive throne. He's up the top there. Looks like there's a fold in this, and you can't really see him very well. Massive urn down here, people everywhere. And a lot of these people, so we've got to sort of work out who's who here. And these people are all bowing down. So maybe magnificence of the Royal Congo. Let's just have a look what that says. So I'm just wondering if these guys, you would think that they are Spanish. They seem to have taken over already. Magnificence of the King of Congo in giving an audience. So this is the King of Congo giving an audience. So again, what's going on? We've got like a Pope, you know, someone with a Pope hat on, a big Jesus cross, another bishop guy. Are they Spanish? Because when you look at this crowd of people, you know, clearly they don't look Spanish, do they? I don't think they do. They do have those puffy pants on though. But why would they be down on their knees, you know, giving adoration to this king? I don't know. It's a bit of a strange picture, but these are all Caucasian. These people, they just do, don't they? So what's going on? Now, you may have seen Martin Liedke. He did a video where he showed pictures of the Congo. I think his was back in the 1400s or so, and he had the same thing. He had castles, he had like colour pictures, like painted, and the same thing, and lots of Caucasians and lots of castles, but also, you know, not all Caucasians. It was a full-on mixed culture. So not what we're told at all. And look at these two guys. This says, the forms and habits of the nobles of the Congo. So these are the nobles of the Congo. Look at that guy. He looks like, to me, that looks like a Caucasian with curly blonde hair. Metal sword. Here's another one. It looks the same. It looks like he's got curly blonde hair. It looks like it's how it's been drawn. It looks very Caucasian. And look at this hat. Now, have you seen the hats that the ladies in Peru wear? They are very similar to this. And what we're told, the story for the hats of the ladies in Peru is that somehow back in the early 1900s, I think it was, some shipment of hats just turned up in Peru and it was not supposed to, and so it got left there, and so they just started wearing the hats. But there may be a lot more to that story. This guy looks like he's got some kind of beret on. And yes, you can see it. This isn't, I mean, come on, look at this. Look at that tower with a massive dome on it. It's just completely built out. Completely. And I'll leave the link for this book in the description for you guys so you can go through it at your leisure. This is just a bit of the fauna. This is how they get around, how they carry people around. So they're porters, yeah, basically, on a voyage. So I'm not sure who's in here, but yeah, just sort of shows you there. Got this little cage and he's sitting there hanging on, getting walked around. He's in like a hammock kind of thing. And this guy's like on a chair, sort of sitting down. He's got his foot there and a little parasol. And he's being carried around. So it looks like this is Automana de Porter on voyage. So yeah, it's something about taking someone on a voyage. But again, like these guys, I don't know, especially this guy, he doesn't look, they look African, they don't look Caucasian, like they look like what we're told is African. So like I said, it's not just, races don't exist, but it's not just people, if I say the wrong thing, YouTube will probably cut this video, but I'm trying to say we're all just people, and this was just a mixed society. There was no, there were no walls around, you look like this and I look like this. It looks like it was mixed society before these guys got there. And it looks like they're starting to baptize people. This guy's got a big pole. Here we go, a few more people being carried around. Yeah, Christians in the Congo and ceremonies of baptism. So there you go, they're baptizing people. Here's a zebra. I find its head a bit interesting, but there you go. A zebra, that would have been a bit of an oddity. And here's some more of the fauna. And yes, you can see it. What is this? We saw something very similar to this in a picture I showed of Peru. What was it? A town in Peru that was a walled city. And one of the people was holding something very similar to this. Very similar. Cusco. It was Cusco in Peru when it was walled back in the 1700s. Elephants and something and animals of the Congo. You can see elephants in the background. So some interesting, images in here. And the thing is, this was a voyage that was sent out, no doubt at cost of the king. And he would have said, go out, have a look around, come back and tell me what's going on. I want to know what tech they have, where everything is, where's their best land, where's all their resources. If we want to steal this stuff, who do we have to take on? Who do we have to kill? Give me accurate records so that they wouldn't be taking back just made up pictures. Would they? This is all, because we know what happened after this. They did go back and they destroyed everything. They destroyed all this because we don't hear of this anymore. Lonis Polo. This looks like got a cross on his head. He looks like he's Spanish and he's trying to talk this native lady into something. She's got a mirror by the looks of it. Nice big sun hat. Nice robes. Again in the background, just towers everywhere, domes. Things up on hills. It's just walls everywhere. Completely built out. And what happened to all this stuff? Did it all get buried under a flood, under sand? Did it get knocked over? Now, this is, where it gets a little bit creepier. So yeah, cannibalism. These guys look like they've got a guy and they're trying to rip him in half. I'm not sure what all this sort of rope stuff is, but that looks like it could be, intestines. Nice. Africana, I'm not sure what that says, but I did check. That's it's definitely cannibalism. Here you go, another one. This guy's hunting birds in the background here. But this guy, he's hunting this guy. This guy's only got a broken sword, and in the background, this guy's just chopping people up. So a bit gruesome. Now, we also have stories of cannibalism happening in North America from a Chinese map that was done in a voyage, and it was mapped in the 1400s again, I think, and also from Australia. Another gruesome picture of them chopping people up. So, cannibalism, where did that come from, right? Did that come because there was a flood and there was just no food, no anything? Is that how it could have come about? Orangutan. Because it does seem to have been around in these times. Mozambique. This guy's got nice long hair, so, most, Africans' hair doesn't grow that way, does it, normally? And he's, look, he's a very well-dressed guy. He's only got wood. Looks like he's got a wooden knife. And he's got this club. And his wife here with a couple of kids. And what do we have in the background? But a star fort. You can see how this is one of these ramparts that comes out. Another one there. Star fort. And buildings kind of everywhere in the background. In Mozambique in the early 1700s, guys. So it's, it's not what we've been told, is it? It's just a map. But again, these are plantations or fields, crops, whatever, and you can see they're everywhere. And again, Africa, they were farming. They had fields and crops everywhere. It's got a up in the corner here. It tells you what everything is, what the pictures are. These are villages, it says. That's what I could work out from this. So the Scresier plantations, anchorages, rocks. I've forgotten what that one was. But yeah, so you can see we've got some big villages here, here, and we've just got farms everywhere through here. You know, completely built out. Here again, starfort. That's from that we just saw that in the other picture. It's just a slightly different angle, and you can see that's definitely a starfort. I think it's the same one. This is Cape de Bon in Esperance. Again, the Spanish coming in. Here's some of the natives. So these are looking a bit more like we're told all of Africa was. They might just be in a hotter part, you know, just wearing less clothes, really, isn't it? Again, so this is, yeah, Esperance, C.D. Bonnet Esperance. I haven't heard of Esperance in Africa. There's an Esperance in Western Australia, where I live, but so I'm not sure what's happening here. I don't even know what that is. Again, in the background, starfort. And it looks like the same stuff, you know, that we saw in that American book. You know, Spanish roll in and the violence starts. People start to fight each other and kill. And looks like we've got some battles going on. Or maybe these are piercings. Maybe they're doing piercings. I don't know. We've got bow and arrows here. It looks like these guys are clubbing someone. So, I mean, this may also be to do with, excuse me, cannibalism. Not sure. Ethiopia, prisoners. Yeah. Learning French, but don't really read it yet, but I'm getting there. And here we have some lions. Snake. Interesting plant. And here we go. Look at that. I mean, that's just a huge castle. Completely built out. There's stuff out here in the background. It's just everywhere. Sifal o Zofala, a villa on the river of Kama in Africa. And again, this looks like it's a bit more sort of you know, tribal down here where they are now. Got all their huts. Looks like a pretty big hut though, doesn't it? A lot going on in there. Over here, some more huts. And you know, these are very sizable huts. They're big. Bit of a fight going on. And here as well. Okay, I've got a naked lady archer for some reason. What is this? Courage. The females of the royal Monomatapa. I have no idea what that says, but I am interested. That's an interesting kind of a photo. It says, the cradle of the king of Sofala's garden, funeral service for the Sofalai, courage in war of the women of the kingdom, figures and weapons. So it looks like their women used to get out and battle. Oh, are these all women? Oh, wow, okay, yeah, right. And these are dudes. Oh my gosh. Okay, so there's some ferocious naked women running with bows and arrows taking on these dudes. They got no shields, no armor, no nothing. Wow. Here it is again in the back, and these guys are running away by the looks of it. They've got big shields. Interesting. That guy as well, he looked a bit Caucasian, didn't he? Map. Okay, so this is Fort Dauphin. What do we have here? Some of the natives. Not sure what kind of animal that is. Interesting hairstyle. And in the background there's buildings. And so it was all built out. I mean, and I think, you know, that the people we see in these pictures weren't of the society that built those buildings. They were probably inheritors, like all over the other place. You know, all over the other place, all over the rest of the world. What happened? Whoever was there just sort of inherited these buildings. These guys look very Caucasian. Got a parasol on the main. See her face. So I don't know who these are. Habits of Rondrians, habits of the armies of Magasia. So yeah, Google Translate is pretty helpful when you're looking at these. Clothes of the Rondrians, clothes and arms of the inhabitants of Mangasia. Way to dedicate a new house. Oh, people of the island of Madagascar. Nice. Okay, so here they are. So there you go. Look, this, you know, they look like what we'd call Persian, you know, don't they? Almost Tartarian, Mongolian, I don't know. Definitely don't look like what the history books have, or like those pictures. So 1700s in Africa, early 1700s, got lots of people here, fire. This is some kind of dedication of houses or something they said. Looks like there's dead animals here. I'm not sure what's going on. Some kind of, got some priests or something here. Interesting hats. Coronation. Circumcision of the infant. Oh. Okay, so they're circumcising an infant, and this is the people of Madagascar. How did they get that tradition? Looks like they're carving stuff out. Moving a big rock. Funeral. So they're creating this is a funeral. Okay, so they're probably creating a casket. Don't know what this rock is. Tombstone, maybe. Another priest. Now, I mean, there we go. It's not really what we've been told, is it? Looks like what we're told of, you know, Africans next to what we're told of Caucasians. It's what it looks like. So this is, you know, how much have they jumbled us up, you know, with orphan trains and resets and shipping people around the world and, you know, the slave trade and all this kind of stuff. It was all just mixing up the different cultures so that we all get left not knowing what our heritage and our history and our story is. St. Helens, so now it just looks like the Spanish are out there with their guns, running around shooting pigs. As they do that to kill things. And here again, more car, you know, look. Fort Orange. Now this Star Fort's still there. I put that on Google Maps. So I'll have to have a look at it. Another one down there. So what's going on? The Spanish are rocking up and there's Star Forts everywhere. And of course, don't forget that we're told the Spanish built most of these Star Forts, right? They claim it. But clearly they have found them. Is this? Not sure what that is. Oh, they must be inside the Star Fort because they brought their little cannons in, or did they find them? Cannons are very heavy, very hard to move, got the cannonball. And cannons are just so inaccurate. They don't work. There's videos on YouTube and you can literally, they've got people firing cannons at just stacks of bricks, just single bricks, like a wall, but with no mortar, and the cannon can't knock it over. So there's a big question about cannons as well. What were they? Were they really shooting these balls, or were they something else? Another map. We'll just go through the rest of the pictures because I've just got another bit of a book I want to show you. Wow, okay, so that's out here. Some little island. Map of Malta in the Mediterranean. There's a person with his Maltese cross on. Now Malta is basically one big star fort. Just wondering if we can see anything on this. I mean, it looks, you can see, oh, there's one. There's one. And you can see you've got towers here. More forts, more towers. Towers, towers, towers. Another fort. And in here, yeah, they have drawn it. Yeah, so this region here is just star forts on star forts. And you can see they've drawn all the walls of the star cities. You know, we see this everywhere. Out on the end here. So there you go. They knew they were there. And if you think that the Spanish went around and they built all these star forts and all these castles and buildings when they were just going around in ships, then you may want to re-examine your history. Here again, this is Malta. Yeah, look at that. Just star forts. Star fort, star fort, star fort. The star fort city, this place. It's just one big, huge star fort. You can see there's one at the bottom there. This is just a huge star fort. This is, you can see this today. It's on Google Maps. Easy to find. It just sticks out in the water. Goes across here. Have another bit of one. Out here. Out here, and then back in. Look at that massive top of one. And there's more up here. I mean, and that's literally what Malta is like. It's covered in these star forts. And you can see built out with cathedrals, you know, very symmetrical streets, but big buildings. Look at this one. What's that? Star forts in Malta. Okay, we've kind of left Africa, but let's just have a quick look. Scenes we're here. Some scenes from Malta, and now look at this. This is underneath in the catacombs. And there's so many stories about this. They say that, you know, when who were they? I can't even remember. But basically, people, you know, from the Catholic Church and things, and Freemasons and Knights Templars and all these kind of people all ended up in Malta and started, you know, all the secret societies. A lot of them come from there. We've got Maltese crosses and stuff. And they tell us that they built all these catacombs. Now, are these people short compared to these people? What's going on there? Like kids or something? Doesn't really say. Lou Sauternes and Malta. So does that mean subterranean? Subterranean layer. I mean, this is a big place too. Look at this. It's big. It's completely done, you know. And it's here's a bit of light coming in. Underneath Grotto of Malta. Interesting. So I actually did a video where I showed that, you know, one of the underground grottos, and they'd found all these elongated skulls and stuff in there. So there we go. That was interesting to end up on that. So I do have, it's not that, we have this. So this is, so yeah, this is a bit earlier. Publication date 1773, but you can see it was all done early 1700s as well. Illustrations of the histories and discoveries, conquest of the Portuguese, of lands, Portugal colonized America, 1500. French. Geography, France. Well, I'll show you. It is Africa. Okay. So here we can go. We've got an angel up here with his trumpet. No doubt singing the glory of Spain, and just have this massive built-out city with castles and things in it. It's just really front page. It does have a picture of Neptune though, being drawn by fish. Map of the world, and this is one of the Portuguese people. And here we go. So this is the discoveries of Portuguese in Africa, Afrique. And it looks very similar to the American book that we saw. You know, they're sort of finding these. You know, it says that this, as far as I can tell, this is the native, you know, leader, because these guys are all sort of paying adoration to him. And this looks like a Spanish person who's sort of trying, you know, hello, just meeting him, trying to be nice. But the natives are like on the ground, like, oh my gosh, worship. Got some Vestal Virgins or something there. So in Africa, you know, this is the thing, like, they have like these proper kings, and it seems like an established religion that a lot of the, you know, the clothes they were wearing were very similar to what was going on with Catholicism and the Roman Vatican Church. So here we go. Here we have an island that is a star fort. You can see the walls along here, and they've even got bits so they can get to the river. I've got a big enclosed castle here, big cathedral. At the top we've got a star fort. More enclosed forts. And you can see these ramparts of the star fort at the bottom. And that's on an island, so some of that may have fallen away. Here we have it again. I think this is the same, maybe it's a different one. Massive castle, built right on the water, as we always see, and walled. This has got those rounded sort of bits that we see a lot. Very, very star forty. And look at this. It's a big walled fort. And look at this castle. How many stories is that? Like one, two, you know, I don't know. 1, 2, 3. It's 5 stories or something. I mean, look at that compared to this, which looks like a big building. These are the people. So, you know, there was a lot going on down in Africa. You know, they've just come in and invaded and found all these civilizations built out. There's another star fort there. This might be the island we saw earlier. Not sure. But they're everywhere. And look at this, just like full of the canals, you know, like we saw on that map from the 1450s. It looks like there's just canals everywhere, and it's just food being grown everywhere. And another big castle, as you do. Oops, that way. Is that right? Yep. And again, look at this. Now this is obviously some kind of city, but look. It's just got water and canals all the way through it. I think that's what they are. If not, then what are, you know, are they built up buildings or something? I mean, I'm not sure, but a lot of fields out here. This is their farming land. We've got orchards. And just this. I'm not really sure what that is. Maybe the wall bits, and these are buildings, and I don't know. Well, whatever it is, it's built up, and there's a lot going on there. And across the water here, a few more buildings, and the canals. It's very interesting. So I think this is probably what was going on rather than what we've been told in our history books. And look at this place. Discoveries of the Portuguese in Africa. The Villa of Aden. Mombazi, Kila St. George de la Mine. I have no idea where that is. In Africa somewhere. The city of Aden, Mombazi, Kilwa St. George. Not sure what that is, but look at this. It looks like an island. So they've sailed in. We've got, like, literally, this is almost in the water. Just a massive castle. Right on the water's edge. Up here, we've got big towers. Obviously, we've got this massive walled city with, look at these domes. Unfortunately, that's as far as I can zoom in, but look at those domes. Look at all the towers. Look at them all. There is a ton of them. And then up, look at this. On every mountaintop, on every peak, there is a castle. Wow, man, what? Saying the city of Aden. I've never heard of the city of Aden. I'm sorry, I'm going to do this. Bear with me, let's see what we find here. City of Aden, oh well, there you go. Let's have a look. Looks like what it was ever there has been, it looks like the same kind of a, you know, topography, is that the right word? But it looks like all those forts have disappeared. Doesn't it? This will warrant some bit more investigation, I think. But yeah, it doesn't look like. Man, they can't have destroyed them all. You can see there's lots of old world buildings there. Look at these, you know, so it's got a lot of old world stuff. Looks like it's not in very good repair, but they're definitely Tartarian buildings. So it's really quite built out. So Aden, I've not heard of Aden. If you have, and if you've been there, please let me know. I mean, that looks a bit Star 40, I don't know. Anyway, let's continue with the book, but that's just ridiculous. That is just super ridiculous. Look at those towers. Mombaz, so these are obviously islands, and I mean, look at that. Aquilo, pretty much just the same, not quite as big. And St. George de la Mine, and smaller again, but still castles up here. And this is what the Spanish were finding, guys, in the 1700s. So where did it all go? What's happened to it all? This is them basically saying we're awesome. So this, the house of the Isle of Ormus. Big plantation there, big, walled house thing. And again, just massively huge, big buildings on this little island, built right out to the edge, and a star fort at the end. Thanks for coming. So this, you know, this is why you've got to be autodidactic, guys. Well, this is why we have to be self-educated. We have to look for this stuff because no one's going to tell it to us. We have to find this stuff ourselves. Don Vasco da Gama. And you can see there's just all this. Now this is Antiquitech. You see this a lot. What's it called? There's something cross. That's pops up a lot. Not sure what that is. Just interesting bits, you know. Globe Earth maybe. Just all these interesting bits on their pictures. It's all symbolism, they can read it. The Freemasons, now also the word Freemason, right? What's Masonry? Masonry is things like bricks, bricks and blocks and cement and stuff. So if you get Freemasonry, does that mean you get free castles? Because you just rock into someone's country and you take it, you kill them all, and you disband, just push them out of their home, steal all their tech. If they try to come back, you kill them, and then within a generation or two, that culture has lost all its knowledge of tech and everything, and they basically just they just go backwards as far as society and technology, and then they end up with people that we see today and they've lived like that now for a couple of 100 years, and they think that's what they came from. I'm not sure, maybe they have the stories, but this is what truly went on, is these people came and stole everything and then called themselves Freemasons because they got Freemasonry, right? Freemasonry. Starfort. I mean, look at these. These are just, it looks like, it just looks like it could be England, doesn't it? And this is again like this fort, and then it's walled in another big fort coming out around here, and these are all just walled forts. Looks like the tip of a star fort. I mean, and these dudes look like they're coming in to just invade. Discoveries Portuguese, the Citadel de Du, Morte de Sultan, Elder Reserve. The Indies. We may not even be in Africa anymore. Look at this boat. Different, isn't it? We just keep going. But this is what the world was, guys, in the 1700s, and these guys went around, these conquistadors, the conquerors, right? And they just found all this stuff and they changed it all. Here's another star for it. It looks like an Edwardian town, these pictures you see of England and stuff, doesn't it? These buildings. But this is not England. Malacca. The House of Malacca. That's a definite star fort. Or what's left of it. It's on an island. More buildings here. Bridge, arches. So who built all this stuff, guys? It's all over the world. Gosh, here's another one. Look at that. Look, that's a good one. And again, inside we've got the cathedrals, we've got the big, the domes, the towers, the turrets, the big red brick buildings. Another star fort. Discoveries of the Portuguese, the Villa of Shoal, the Villa of Bassam. And you can see, look at this. I don't even know what to say. Let's just look at them. But that's, clearly a star fort. Clearly a star fort. And star forts are everywhere, by the way, guys. Here's another one. Villa of Daman. Don't know who this dude is. It's probably the Conqueror. Look at that. And that's got a nice citadel in the middle still. Nice. So this is obviously inhabited. You can see the people who are in there are living in there. So these people would have had a high standard of living. And they've just been usurped by these people. It's turned into a star fort book, hasn't it? Mangalore, Onor, Brackalore, star fort, star fort, star fort. And that's the last page. So there we go. A bit of a wander through the world in the early 1700s as seen by the Spanish. Bit of Africa, and it looks like we had a bit of sort of the Mediterranean as well in there. And of course, looking, very similar to what we see in this map. Even in this map, even when we come up to these islands in the Mediterranean, Crete and stuff, they're covered as well. This map doesn't seem to show the star forts, but I mean, they were probably just being depicted differently. So this is the world, guys, as it was, not long ago, 300 years. And in that time, they've displaced all these people, they've destroyed all this architecture, they've destroyed cultures, they've lost all the knowledge and destroyed all the knowledge. And of course, along the way, there's been disasters that have wiped out a lot of the architecture and the knowledge as well. But the last reset, someone knew that it was coming, and they have just jumped in and put their rule on the world and kept our history secret from us. But it's coming back. They can't hide forever. We humans are too curious. So there you go. I hope you like that one, guys. Just some interesting pictures, a couple of old books from the 1700s to show you what the world was really like, and that, it was covered in castles and star forts and walled cities and, cathedrals and domes and all this stuff. And everyone had it. It was all over the world. Everyone was high tech. Well, at least higher tech than we're told. All the inhabitants of Africa, I mean, the story that we've been given of them, that they never had this, that they were just bushmen, basically. And again, then the next question is, where did all this go? Is it still there? Has it just been destroyed? Is the Sahara? All those sand dunes, are they just buried cities, towers, castles? Who knows? So there you go. Thank you for spending some time with me, guys. Hope you enjoyed that one. As always, remember that his story is not our story, and self-education is the way forward. Thanks for spending some time with me, and I shall catch you on the next upload. Bye for now.